All right, what is up, you guys, and welcome back in. We got One Piece chapter 1127 here with us today, and we are here to be talking about these dang spoilers because we are now officially in Elbaf. So I'm going to go into this assuming you guys have already read the spoilers for yourselves. If not, I'll pin it in the top comment down below. But yes, Nami's location is confirmed to be Elbaf. We don't know how we get this confirmation. It just says that the Lego castle she's in is located within Elbaf. But yes, everything is Legos. The floor, the walls, the plants even. Legos is the theme here. So she goes out and looks for some of the Straw Hats, and before she finds any of them, she's actually chased by giant insects. She's chased by giant insects, and then she eventually runs into Usopp, who is also being attacked by a giant cat. Things are getting wacky here. And I'm not too sure how the cat and the insects really fit in. But yes, Usopp is being swiped out by this giant cat. He can't exactly fight it. Nami joins in the fray to help him battle it, but that is when the giant cat turns into a goddamn lion. What is going on here? Did this cat eat a lion devil fruit, or are the animals of Elbaf just this crazy? We don't know yet. But we do have to remember that these animals, they're going to be big, because going back to Egghead Island, when Dory and Progi were fighting the Gorosei, they said that the Gorosei reminds them of the forest animals on Elbaf. So yeah, whatever we're talking about here, they are going to be absolutely massive, and it kind of makes sense as to why, Nami's running and Usopp can't exactly fight the cat. Maybe by the end of the arc, Usopp will be able to fight it. We don't know yet. But what I do find a little bit interesting about this could just be me looking too deep into it, but when we got to Egghead Island and we saw, this holographic robot fight a holographic dragon, you could kind of look at that and say that's foreshadowing of the robot, Emeth, fighting the Gorosei. So maybe there's something at play here with the insects and the cat. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I did just kind of want to bring that up anyways. So yes, after Usopp and Nami failed to take down the giant lion cat, that is when our boys, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, grouped up together, come in for a combination attack. And man, has it been a minute. It has been a hot minute since we've seen all three of them go in for a combo. We don't know if this is like Gear 5th Luffy, King of Hell Zoro, or, Jerma activated Sanji, whatever you want to call them. But either way, I don't think many people are walking out of a combo attack like this. And it turns out that this does actually succeed in taking down the monster cat. But what I find interesting is the last bullet point. It says the chapter ends with Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji all being reunited. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Where's Chopper? Where's our boy Chopper? Right? He also went missing alongside these Straw Hats. He's not on the Elbaf ship. So where did Chopper go? And I feel like that's kind of an interesting thing to make note of for a couple of different reasons, right? A lot of people have been wondering time and time again if Chopper will ever get more to his backstory. Will we ever get some Dr. Kureha tie-ins? Or maybe we'll get his bounty poster explained from a logical perspective instead of just a gag. But another thing to keep in mind is that maybe, just maybe, whoever kidnapped the Straw Hats are into rare animals. Because we did have this giant cat that could turn into a lion, and that was chilling in the Lego castle. So maybe they saw Chopper and they saw that he could transform, and they're like, hey, that's a cool party trick. That's just like my cat. So they kidnapped Chopper specifically. But then again, people just love kidnapping Chopper in general. Going back to Long Ring Longland, when Foxy, won the Davy back fight and he could steal any Straw Hat he wanted Chopper. Well, he didn't want Chopper. It was Porsche who wanted him as a mascot. But either way, people love to kidnap this damn kid. So I could see this being a case where they have to fight for Chopper back. Or maybe he's just in a different room. Because, thinking about this chapter, it's odd how the Straw Hats were seemingly split up. Nami's in a room by herself. Usopp is over here fighting a cat. And then Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji are together. So I do wonder, whoever captured these Straw Hats, why did they split them up the way that they did? So yeah, there's a lot of questions coming off of these spoilers, and I don't want to get too big into theory crafting on the spoiler channel, but one thing that I did find really interesting is the inclusion of giant insects chasing Nami in the chapter. Because that, going back to Egghead again, that was a key reason why people thought that Bonnie was a celestial dragon. Before we got the reveal, people were like, oh wait, Bonnie, she's being chased by insects. Bonnie fainted when she saw insects. So the fact that Nami's being chased by insects, like, could that mean something else? Because quite honestly, we don't know much about Nami's backstory pre-Bellemere. So there is a chance we could touch on that a little bit. Oikot Village does seem a little bit interesting of a choice. Of course, then again, I've seen the opposite theories saying that Nami is of Norse heritage or, Elbaf heritage because she has orange hair, and that is the typical hair color for Scandinavian people. And of course, did say if Nami was from a real life place, she would be from Sweden. So there are a couple of things working for Nami there. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they separated Nami specifically. And also separated Usopp, because Usopp, he touts himself as a brave warrior. He touts himself as a Nolan descendant, as crazy as that is. That was a plot point in Dressrosa. So yeah, I could see there being a couple of explanations why Usopp and Nami were placed by themselves, and then Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, the quote nobodies of the group, are placed all together. Also, maybe this is just me, but I'm still of the mindset that whoever kidnapped them is on friendly terms with the Straw Hats. I don't know what it is. I'm just getting that vibe right now. If you guys feel differently, let me know down below. But one thing that I did find interesting about putting Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji together is that Luffy is the sun god, right? You would think that with how heavily the sun god is worshipped in Elbaf, and since it's Luffy's bounty poster, that they would roll out the red carpet for him. But it doesn't look like that's the case here. I mean, of course, they dressed all the Straw Hats, so it looks like they are, welcome there too. But it's fascinating that they don't have the same reception as the rest of the Giants, right? Because when Dory and Brogy showed up, they were like, hey, should I call this guy the sun god? And then they cut Jupiter, they're like, oh, that place is too dark for the sun god. So the fact that nobody's here saying that to Luffy right now is kind of interesting. So maybe this is like a kid that kidnapped the Straw Hats and they don't know any better. That's kind of where I'm at right now. But of course, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. And also, based on these brief spoilers, we don't get insight as to who was talking to Nami last chapter. Because somebody did say, hey, Nami, wake up. It doesn't say who that is. I feel like whoever that is the one who told us that this castle is in Elbaf. I feel like that's pretty logical of a conclusion, but that could also just be Usopp. Since when you go back to last chapter, there's exclamation marks when they tell Nami to wake up, and we do know that Usopp is being chased by a cat, and he's the first one that Nami sees, so maybe that could just be Usopp yelling at her too, but we just don't know that for sure yet. So yeah, there's a couple of questions still here. And it looks like by the end of this chapter, they're getting ready to leave the Lego castle. Also, by the way, in this chapter, we actually get to see all of their Viking outfits. Not just Nami is dressed up, but Usopp, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, bro. Yeah, this is going to be a nice chapter. Of course, it is, quote, slower paced than the previous chapters. There's nothing super, mind-blowing here yet. But we do have to keep in mind, whenever we start a brand new arc or hit a brand new island, things do start kind of slow, depending on, the person, right? Some people look at this and say it's moving fast. Some people look at this and say it's horrendously slow. I think it's actually moving quite well right now. I think there's a lot of intrigue here with the giant cat and everything else. And yeah, overall, I thought this sounded like a pretty decent chapter. Of course, these are just the brief spoilers, right? There are still more things that are going to be revealed when the full spoilers drop. But base level though, what do you guys think about this chapter so far? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. I would love to hear them. And also, what do you think about Elbaf? It has been in the making for so many years now. Now that we're finally here, with Legoland, how do you feel about this development? I would love to hear all those thoughts down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. My name is Sai, and I'm signing out. Peace.